Welcome to my doubles defence session, where I'm going to be going through 3 different defensive drills to help me sharpen up for matches for this upcoming season. So these 3 routines are great routines for different scenarios I'm going to be in when I'm in a match. Routine number 1 is me working on my drives. Now it's really important that when we're hitting the drive in defence that we're getting good power and good consistency to make sure that we're not allowing that net player to intercept the shuttle easily. So my focus here is really trying to feel like I'm hitting past David. I'm not thinking of hitting to him. I'm trying to feel like I'm hitting towards the back tram line and he's getting in the way of the shot. My focus, technically, is to try and feel like I've got good prep. I'm not allowing that racket to travel too far through because the emphasis is me being ready for the next shot to keep and maintain the rally.
I think, Dean, this is a great routine for 2 people to do together because whilst you're working on your drives, I can work on my intercepts, getting in a good position with my racket, and trying to find points on you that you struggle with. So hitting you from one side to your right hip, maybe to your right shoulder, make it really difficult.
The other area to consider is my legs. Now this is something where we see people get a little bit too stuck when they're defending. Now as you can see, I'm not moving a lot, but I'm staying low. I'm always feeling like I'm on my toes. Because in the game, obviously, I still have to make sure I'm able to cover that drop shot and be able to move forward, but also I still want to have that little bit of flexibility to get my feet into good positions when I have tricky areas to defend from.
And what are you thinking here, Dean, when it comes to trying to be relaxed? Because I'm hitting this hard shuttle quite hard at you, but you're looking quite sort of chilled about how you're defending.
Yeah, I mean, that's good to know because it's obviously something that I used to find very, very difficult. And it's not an easy skill, but I think we still have to consider defense as an area where we're just transitioning. It's not that we're going to lose a point or under so much pressure. So it's about trying to see it as a positive challenge, about staying relaxed. We're just trying to feel like we're testing our opponent again rather than feeling like we're under pressure. So for me, I'll be doing that for around 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes each side, just to make sure I'm practicing both sides of the court. But also not making the sets too long, because what I don't want to feel here is that I'm getting tired in my arm and that quality is dropping. It's all about keeping a high quality of set and make sure we're taking the necessary breaks when needed. So we hope you're enjoying these drills. And please make sure you check out our online coaching platform with a whole section dedicated to drills for you to improve your game. So I'm just looking to progress this routine now, still having the same emphasis on the drives, but I also have the option to block in front of David. Now, for me, this is quite key at the minute because I'm actually looking to transition a little bit more towards the net as a player. I predominantly spent most of my career rear court dominated, so this is quite a big change for me, being bold coming in. When we get to the net, we're just going to have a little bit of a rally around the net, and then David will aim to push me back off and still try and maintain the rally going back into drives. Sorry. Hopefully what you're noticing as well is when I'm coming in, it is maximum pace in the way of my movement coming forwards. I'm not waiting to necessarily see what's happening. As soon as I see that block is good, and Dave is kind of around tape height or slightly below, my emphasis is trying to get forwards as fast as I possibly can.
And this comes back to, Dean, a point we've spoken about in previous videos, where if your drive isn't hard enough, it doesn't push me back. You're hitting this quite hard now, which then opens up that gap at the net for you to then block into. So my base position is naturally further back now, where the space is at the front. And
there also, with that, becomes a tactical element. You know, yes, I'm seeing that gap is being created by me hitting that drive. And actually, rather than me keep hitting off the net, I've achieved what I wanted to by pushing that net player back. And as you said, Dave, it gives me a lot more space to play into at the front. So it's obvious still when we're defending that, yes, it's okay to hit drives and it's okay to defend, but there still has to be a tactical purpose. And generally when we're defending, that purpose is to get back on the attack. Still got a bit of work to do around the net.
We'll get there, we'll get there. Can you just take us through the grip pressure? Because obviously on the drive, you're trying to hit this hard, and it's quite an extreme changing to then the block. What are you doing with your grip?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the drive, we need to be relaxed and then squeeze the grip as we're hitting to make that a little bit more powerful. With the block, we're not really looking to squeeze the grip as much. Nice to lighten the grip pressure because it's a very different shot. We're trying to play with control. We're trying to take the pace out of the shot. We're not looking to add pace. Obviously one area just to add there, I know that I'm coming in and playing around the net, and then we just maintain the rally by me be backing off and restarting the rally. Now necessarily tactically that isn't necessarily what we want to be doing in a match, but it's also just trying to find ways where we can still maintain the rally as a two, as a pair, rather than it breaking down. So for this last routine, I'm going to be changing the emphasis quite dramatically. So rather than being under pressure from the front of the court, my goal here is to work David with lifts around the back of the court. Now, why is that important? Well, obviously in a game of doubles, we don't just want to feel like we're hitting the same shots over and over again. And also it's important to be able to put the rear court player under pressure with their movement for us to be able to capitalise in defence. So my goal here is to work David across the back of the court and occasionally adding a drive just to bring him in as well. Occasional drive as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully what you're seeing already with my movement here is I'm not just staying set in the middle of my half. As I lift David on the cross court, my aim is to move across more towards the middle because that would be my role as a cross defender. So again, yes, we're looking at being able to move David, but there's an emphasis on what I need to be doing as well in my positioning based on where I'm hitting that shot. David, just in the way of how that feels for you as an attacker, like what are you sensing, what are you feeling?
It's hard because I can't get myself in a real set position to hit a hard smash, so I'm always on the move at the moment. The only times you've re-lifted me and I've been able to feel like I could hit a good smash, yeah, it's felt good, but most of the time, whenever I'm on the move, it's constantly thinking about my movement and positioning, and the smash is sometimes just an afterthought, really.
Yeah. And this is very much something that we see a lot, we work a lot at club level, is that people defend sometimes with no purpose, just being reactive. And defence, we have to consider that the same as we do as attack. We need to understand why we're playing certain shots, why we're choosing to hit them, and how we can capitalise on those defensive shots to gain the initiative back in the rally. Here I'm working on the height of my lift as well. I'm not hitting the same height, sometimes a bit punchier, and sometimes allow myself time by just going a little bit higher. And sometimes adding that drive, just to make sure I'm not becoming too lift happy. Still working David around the back, stepping in, then moving him again. Now, ideally for that routine, you would be working in a pair, but sometimes that's not possible, and it's all about grabbing the most opportunity with what you have available. So for example, with two of us, this is still a very good routine that you can go away and practice on.
And obviously, Dean, this is slightly more physical for your partner as well. How long are we going to be doing this for?
I think it's going to depend a little bit, as you said, on the rear court players' fitness levels and how they're able to maintain the quality. If it's, you're not used to doing this, you may want to take this down to a minute, because a minute of quality is much better than 2 minutes when we start to feel like that level drops off because the other player is tired. So again, just gauge it. Don't be afraid, how are you feeling? If the quality drops, don't be afraid to stop the set.
I think what's been so good is that in all these exercises, both players are working on something.
Yes.
Even that one, I'm working on getting up to the shuttle a lot, still having a slightly higher base for the any drives you hit in the mid-court, but then thinking about my quality whilst on the move.
Yeah, and it's something sometimes we as coaches sometimes get wrong when we decide a feed inside. Yeah. Actually, both sides are working, but just the emphasis of the routine is more on one person than the other. But as you said, it's not to say you can't get something out of both sides of this court. So we hope you enjoyed watching these doubles defence drills and had some points in that you can work into your own game.
And this is a new style of video for us, getting you training in and amongst with us. We're not afraid to try something different, so please drop your thoughts in the comments below.